Hello and welcome everyone, my name is Capcan and today we're gonna look at our best Arms Warrior Talent 3 builds from Dragonflight. Pre-patch is currently 2nd of November, which means that pre-patch is quite chunky ahead of us still, and at the release of Dragonflight all these builds are gonna be different because now we still have access to our legendaries, covenant abilities, and we don't have enough talent points. So yeah, if you want to check updated talent trees when Dragonflight will hit, subscribe to the channel because all the info is gonna be on the channel 100%. We're taking information from Wowhead, which gives us an opportunity to learn the game better. All the links to the Wowhead and to the builds are gonna be in pinned comment below the video. About the author, this guide is written and maintained by Arkim Tiros, the warrior class theory crafter, simulation craft developer, and Mythic raider. You can find him on Twitter and streaming on Twitch. So yeah, if you join the warrior class Discord Skyhole to stay up to date with all things warrior, now over 100,000 members strong. So yeah, thanks for the guide writers, thanks for the Wowhead for all the information. And I guess let's go for the talent builds. So Arms Warrior raid talent builds. Arms Warriors have a lot of good talents, but only one very effective single target build during the Dragonflight pre-patch, focusing heavily on execute damage in combination with Event Tier Covenant to allow Condemn to be used much more frequently. The result is something of a powerhouse as far as Warriors build are concerned, although it is highly specialized and requires good execute phases to perform well. It is also a very single target focused build and not at all suited to dealing with groups of ads. Some talents may be switched in order to better facilitate cleave damage, but arms builds generally specialize heavily in one or the other. So yeah, that's our talent tree. I guess let's go and check the talent tree itself, and then we will read a bit of explanation, additional explanation. So in our general talent tree, we're taking our battle stance is there for us by default. We're taking defensive stance, we're taking rallying cry, which is very good AoE health increase for our party. We're taking war machine, which generates more rage just passively. We're taking impending victory for more of our self-sustain. We're taking fast footwork, which increases our movement speed for more mobility inside the raid encounters. We're taking heroic leap, of course, that's one of our main blink abilities that is not on target. Then we're going for Frothing Berserk. Mortal Strike and Cleave has a 20% chance to immediately refund some 20% of the rage spent, which is again better for you with your rage generation. We're going for Pain and Gain. When you take any damage, heal for a portion of max health, and that's a passive that can occur once every 10 seconds. Crushing Force, which increases damage of Slam. We're increasing our armor with reinforced plates. We're taking 10% of our armor as strength with armor to the teeth. We're taking Avatar, which is just generally pretty good cooldown, and Warlord's Torment. Activating Avatar of Colossus or Colossus Smash casts Recklessness at reduced effectiveness, which is definitely gonna be very good for your damage windows opportunities. Then we're taking Bounding Strike, which decreases cooldown of Heroic Leap and increases your MS after you're using it, which is generally gonna be 100% taken in raiding encounters, as mobility is key. Then we're taking increases maximum number of charges on charge and reduces its cooldown, more mobility. Two-handed weapon specialization increases your weapon damage while using two-handed weapons by 5%, just massive passive increases. And Wild Strikes, haste increased by 1% and your auto attack. Critical strikes increase your auto attack speed by 10% for 10 seconds. Then in here we're taking Spell Reflection, which you can reflect, that's a 25 seconds cooldown ability that you can reflect first spell cast on you and reduce magic damage you take by 20% for 5 seconds. After Rallying Cry, we're going for some Leech for our self-sustain, auto attack speed increase, just more damage and rage generation. Overwhelming Rage, maximum rage increased by 30. That's if you're that's just generally gonna be useful. And then we're taking Barbaric Training Slam and Whirlwind to deal more damage, but now cost 10% more rage. So yeah, that's probably mostly for your slam damage increases. And Sidearm, your auto attacks have a chance to hurl weapons at your target and 3 other enemies in front of you, dealing additional physical damage, so just like passive procs. So yeah, that's your general talent tree. As you can see, mostly damage and mobility. We're taking here some defensive cooldowns, some defensive abilities, but mostly damage and mobility. And now in our specialization talent tree, we're going for Mortal Strike, of course, Overpower, of course, that's 2 of our main like abilities. Let's go and look at our like left part of the tree. Martial Prowess, Overpower, increases damage of your next Mortal Strike or Cleave. Very good, gonna be more damage. Blood Surge, your bleed effects have a chance to grant you rage, resource generation, improved Overpower. Damage of Overpower is increased furthermore. You have a chance, you have a 1.4% chance per rage spent on abilities to reset the remaining cooldown of Overpower. Rend is your like bleeding generation ability. Dreadnought, Overpower, has 2 charges and causes a seismic wave, damage to all enemies in a 10 yards line, which is still probably just for you to have 2 charges on Overpower, and not the like not that much like AoE part of this tree of this talent. And Deft Experience Mastery increased by some percent, and Tactician's chance to trigger is increased by additional 0.5%. Then in center part of the tree, we're taking Die by the Sword, which increases your parry and reduces all damage you take. It's one of our main defensive cooldowns. You're healed for 50% damage dealt by deep wounds, which is just like very, very good for your self-sustain. Colossus Smash, one of our main damaging cooldowns that we're like hitting enemies with. Anger Management, every 20 rage you spend reduces remaining cooldown on Warbreaker and Colossus Smash, Blade Storm by 1 second, so more uptime on like these cooldowns. In for the kill, Colossus Smash increases haste by 10% or by 20 if the target is below. Oh yeah, so you're gonna have increased haste after using Colossus Smash. And we're taking Blunt Instruments. Colossus Smash damage increased by 30% and its effect duration is increased by 3 seconds. So yeah, we're going pretty hard on our Overpower and our Colossus Smash in here. Then we're going more for Execute part of the tree, I guess. Execute no longer has a cooldown, and if your foe survives, 20% of rage refunded. Then your attacks have a chance to make your next Execute be costless and may be usable with like no conditions. Whirlwind and Slam also slams your primary target. That's if you want to like cleave at least a little bit some other like targets that are gonna be nearby boss. Impale, the damaging critical strikes of your ability deal, so that's like your just critical multiplier increased. Massacre, Execute is now usable on targets below 35% health, which is definitely gonna like be very useful on bosses. Damage of Mortal Strike increased. Critical strike chance increased by 2%, and Execute immediately refunds 10% of the rage spent. Sharpened Blades, your Mortal Strike, Cleave, and Execute critical strike damage is increased furthermore, and your Execute has increased hit critical strike chance. And Juggernaut, Execute, increases Execute's damage dealt by 3% for 12 seconds, stacking up to 12 times. So yeah, that's like here we have all the Execute stuff, here we have all the Colossus Smash and some cooldowns like related things, and here we have Overpower, like Rend, and a bit of emphasis on your bleeding effects. And by the way, yeah, we have tons of critical strike multiplier and chance increases as well. So like key Juggernaut talents, you can see in here which one of them are important, which one of them are more optional. The Juggernaut build relies heavily on its namesake talent, this here, while using Rage Refund mechanics to fuel anger management, resulting in more of use of a Colossus Smash, which in turn facilitates increased recklessness uptime from Warlord's Torment. While normally bleeds are a big part of the Arms Warrior toolkit, the increased availability of Execute due to Condemn means they just get in the way. Virtually any GCD not using Condemn is a wasted one. So yeah, due to bugs, some bugs are currently like something not working, but that's like, yeah, that's probably gonna be fixed. So yeah, then we have our, so there's only 2 builds in here. So Bone Grinder, Juggernaut raid build. So there's 2 Mythic Plus builds. Yeah. Arms Warrior, Mythic Plus talent builds. Arms Warriors now have wildly better multi-target options than they did in Shadowlands, thanks to a greater availability of talents which can be taken alongside one another, rather than exclusive choices. They can now specialize in dedicated to target damage, mass AoE, or attempt to hybridize with a Bladestorm-less build that retains high execute damage. Okay, so we have Bone Grinder and Exhilarating Blows. Alright, let's check our like general talent tree, how it was changed from the raiding. So we're taking Blade Master Torment, activating Avatar of Blade or Blade Storm casts the other at reduced effectiveness, so we're not taking Recklessness. In here we're still going for Avatar, we're still going for all these talent except for Pain and Gain. Yeah, Pain and Gain is not available here for us. Then we're going at center part of the talent tree pretty similarly as well. Yeah, just the same. And in our right part we're taking, we've reduced number of talents that was taken in here. We're not taking Impending Victory, Pain and Gain, which means that we can spend them somewhere else. And here, as you can see, we were taking only like these talents. We're still taking them all without Overwhelming Rage. So two more talent points, and we're taking Thunderclap, which is additional AoE damage, Stormbolt, which is single target stun ability, Blood and Thunder. Thunderclap increases damage, and affects all nearby targets with your rend. So that's like your Thunderclap is generally your rend spreader. And Seismic Reverberation, if Whirlwind hits 3 or more enemies, it hits them 1 additional time for 70% damage, which is definitely gonna be very, very good for your damage, AoE damage. So these 3 talents are for AoE damage, and this one is for like single target CC. Then with our with our specialization talent tree, what's up in there? We're taking a bit less talents for Overpower, so Overpower wouldn't have as much damage. We're taking Bloodborne, Deep Wounds, Rend, and Thunderous Roar. Bleed effects deal increased damage. Then we're not going further with Dreadnought, and we're not taking Deft Experience. Instead, what are we doing instead? We're going way harder on our center part of the talent tree. We're taking Warbreaker, which is like your Colossus Smash becomes AoE ability. If that's still as it works, yeah, it should. It even if it doesn't state here that it replaces your Colossus Smash, it should replace your Colossus Smash. In for the kill is still the same. Then we're going for Valor in Victory, increases versatility by 2% and reduces the cooldown of die by the sword, which can be very, very useful, like in M+, where you need to have more uptime on like your parry and different kinds like that. Then we're taking Bladestorm for more like AoE damage. We're increasing it with Hurricane, while Bladestorm Bladestorm active, every 1 second you gain movement speed and 5% strength, stacking up to 6 times last 6 seconds, so yeah, you're like just buffing yourself. Merciless Bone Grinder, where when Bladestorm ends, Whirlwind and Cleave deal increased damage for 9 seconds, so yeah, that's quite massive. You're gonna have a very big increased damage, AoE damage increases with Warbreaker, Bladestorm, and all the buffs that Bladestorm provides then. And in the right part of the tree, as we don't have as much talent points, we're not going for Juggernaut, we're not going for Critical Thinking and for Sharpened Blades. We're not even taking Massacre and Improved Mortal Strikes. Yeah, we're going more for Cleave. We're taking Cleave itself, we're increasing Cleave by reducing its cooldown. Then we're taking Sweeping Strikes. For 15 seconds your single target damage and abilities hit 1 additional target for 75% of the damage. And we're increasing that with Storm of Swords. Whirlwind costs 30 more rage and has 14 seconds cooldown. It now deals 175% more damage. So yeah, that's like just all your talents that were single target related are switched to the AoE. related talents. This AoE heavy multi-target build relies on stacking Hurricane and Merciless Bone Grinder with Storm of Swords for gigantic whirlwinds after Blade Storm, while Cleave Overpower and Thunderclap maintain sustained damage. An extremely satisfying build to play in high target situations. It sorely lacks in single targets, so it is best used with groups formed with that in mind. So yeah. And then we have Exhilarating Blows. Ooh, and I need to like be precise with what changes. So we're not taking Crashing Force. We're taking Pain and Gain instead. Then we're not taking Seismic Reverberation. Ooh, so your Whirlwind wouldn't really be applied second time. And we're going for 2 stacks in Overwhelming Rage, and we're taking Concussive Blows. Cooldown of Pummel is reduced, successfully interrupting an enemy increases damage you deal to them. So that's more single target oriented as well. Yeah, that's all the changes with your... Oh no, and we're taking Recklessness. We're taking like Recklessness, reduced free Recklessness after you're using your cooldowns instead of like gaining Avatar and what was it? Avatar or Blade Storm, yeah. Okay, and with our like here, oh, we're skipping our central part of the talent tree. We're still taking the Warbreaker in for the kill. We're going furthermore for Sharpened Blades, Critical Thinking, and Juggernaut. We're taking Dreadnought and Exhilarating Blows. Yeah, so and we're skipping Bloodborne. So that's more of like this somewhat an intuitive build, hybridizes arms, single and multi-target capabilities, casting Cleave as their main filler against multiple targets, while Sniping Condemn or Snipping Condemn casts against high or low health targets. While not as strong in AoE, it retains most of the spec's single target damage and pairs well when partying with other strong multi-target classes. But because this build does not use Whirlwind or Slam very much, opting to use Cleave instead even against single targets, several points can be dropped from the class tree in order to take more defensive utility options. So yeah, that's like quite interesting stuff with the arms. I definitely like it's like talent tree. You definitely have different choices in there. You can like very heavily spec into some of the abilities. To be honest, like in total warriors, maybe that's not really like popular opinion, because as far as I've heard, warriors aren't like as hot coming into Dragonflight from like expectations point of view of people. But just stylistically, just like for my own taste, warriors, specializations talent trees, general talent tree, they look pretty cool, and yeah, I'll probably even play some of that as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a blast playing the game. I hope that Dragonflight will be very, very good, and we all will be happy. Yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Have a good time and goodbye.